Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call it to order, 7:32. Any comments, or communications? Anybody have anything to say that's not on the agenda?
Not
Okay.
really.
Gone. Any comments about the minutes, or do I have a motion to approve?
Motion
I-
to approve.
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any new business?
No.
I don't think so. Can't think of anything. I'll probably think of it like Karen once we get 2 or 3 bullet points down. Okay, let us talk about statistics, which I realize I'm misspelled, and the town picnic.
Okay.
Okay. Let's start with Zots. And Karen, take away. I'll move from the starting line to the finish line and then to the picnic. Starting line, on your mark, get set.
Okay, I
Go.
turned my sound on. Yeah.
Good. Good job.
Just to give you some quick updates, Patty and I met with Elizabeth and Cindy, and the stuff is live. We'll start promoting it tomorrow. We are still working on, we haven't finalized the logo, but that shouldn't matter. So I'll just share the screen with you, maybe. Where did I put that? There we go. So you can get to, I closed some of them. Anyway, can you see this? This is
Yeah.
on the town site.
Yes.
And here is the logo, but it's still, there's some changes to it. So we go through and talk about the date and the start, and then highlight the activities that are there. Really trying to stress the road closure issue. And then you would click on this page here if you were going to run in Zots to Tots. And that is not good.
No.
That link is not working.
They told us it would work.
Okay, hang on a second. Bear with me for a second. Now you're going to see all these emails. Let's see. Let's see if I can get to it this way. And well, this is good. We're testing it. Oh my. Patty, do you have the
Is this the one from Elizabeth on the 8th?
yeah.
Did she do a mock-up?
Yeah, I mean it's in there, but I don't seem to have the right email. Hang on. There's so many, as you can see, there's so many
Yeah.
emails. Here we go. Let's try again. Okay, Zots to Tots webpage. Okay, so the web page is there, but the link isn't working. So I'm glad we're going through this. So when you go to the Zots to Tots race, we have a deadline of the day before at 12 p.m. Really trying to get people to sign up before the race. Space is limited. And we talk about the road closures and then have a map there. We also, thank you to Cindy and her husband, Steve. They'll be volunteering at the start line, and also Craig and Pam Flower will be helping out. So we're good at the beginning of it. And the exciting thing is our new town manager, Darcy, will be the starter. So I think it's a great way for people to know who she is and for her to maybe get to mingle with some of our residents. So we're doing that. And then you would click on the registration page here, but I'm not going to go into all that detail. And we have ordered the race bibs.
We already
Uh,
have,
uh,
we already have registrants.
Oh, we actually, before this was even out, like we haven't promoted it yet. We had a family of 4 register. So they get bib number 1 through 4.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. And then, so what we've decided to do in an effort to ideally be more efficient, keep things simple and cut costs is we're going to give participation medals only to
David, can
Hi,
you?
Dave. How are you? How are you
Good.
doing, Dave?
Sorry, my
Good.
son just came in. What was the question?
There wasn't a question. I was,
If you
You are-
can mute,
Uh,
if you're gonna speak.
anyway, we went and looked at the numbers from last year, and this doesn't include same day registration, but there were about 370 total registrants and about slightly under 200 were kids. So what we're going to do is only give participation medals to the kids, to those under 18. And I'll just show you that, and we're using a very generic medal. So if we have extras, we can also use it for trivia night and things like that. Which, as I said, we're trying to be as cost effective as possible. And the plaque, we have plaques for the champions in each category. And if you bear with me for a second, this is not going to show you what the engraving looks like, but this, oh, well, no, see, it reverts to the, okay, I'm going to try something. I'm going to just blow this up for you all. Can you see that at all?
Yeah.
So the runners have either a female or male runner. It just says Portola Valley Zots to Tots 2025, and then it will say champion and have the division, and the cyclists will have a cyclist on it, and that one we have to distinguish between boys and girls on it. So that's essentially what we've got ordered. We are significantly less money, and then the last thing we have, oops, nope, not that. Is we'll be ordering this drawstring backpack, and the logo will be the Zots to Tots logo. And actually, Patty, why don't you pull up? I can probably pull it up since I'm here. I'll just go to latest logo. That one's at the top of my list. Oops, shoot. It's not at the very top. That's where we are with the logo. So that's what'll be on the drawstring backpack. But there may be rolling hills here instead of
Instead of pyramids.
instead of peaks. Yeah. So that's essentially where we're at. We're hoping to get the registration out and start the promotion, tomorrow. So you probably see something on the forum. The only thing I would like to add is, so the volunteers are set on the front end. I think we're good there. And Patty, maybe we'll wait till we talk about the picnic. We are gonna need more volunteers over at the race end as well as for the dunk tank. So, but we'll get to that. Anything else that you can think of, Patty?
Yeah, just kind of open questions. We are still trying to figure out our method for same day registration. We don't want to deal with cash. That's a hassle, and people don't bring cash anyway. We have to check the Wi-Fi connection to see if people can actually use the online registration tool to register same day and then pay like they would normally. with the credit card. But we don't want encourage you that. We don't want people to think that's an option. We want them to do as much pre-registration as possible. So we're not like promoting that a lot, but we have to figure it out. If not, we may have to use a Venmo or a PayPal account. But I have to figure that one out. I think that's really for the starting line. Well, we had talked about, were we going to stagger? Have you decided that?
Yeah, excuse me. I thought what we decided to do is that we're gonna start the bikes first. So they're out of the way of the runners. And then the runners will go, but not the, excuse me. Not the kids like on trikes with their parents and things like that, but the ones that are actually thinking they're gonna ride quickly on the race route are gonna go first.
The little kids. By how much?
We can figure that out. I think 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
Probably 5 minutes is plenty of time. Dave is saying 10 minutes. Do you want to talk? Why don't you talk?
Yeah, I saw his,
You got it.
I just wanted, was that what you wanted to talk about, David?
No,
Okay, hold on then.
that's not why I have my hand raised.
Okay, hold on for a second then. So 10 minutes, I think I agree with David, that's good. I think that's all for the starting line, right? We have the things worked out with Public Works on the pylons. And you've got table and chairs and all of that.
And the trash is there
Trash.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring the tables and chairs and Justin is bringing the pylons.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I have to do the starting line and get the bullhorn and all that, but
Yeah.
that should be fine. Excuse me, I'm gonna put myself on mute while I call.
Okay. All right, David. David. David.
Sorry, are you ready for me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, on the webpage, it says, thanks to the Parks and Rec community for hosting a safe event. We should include the
Oh,
people,
BPTS.
yeah, them,
Yeah.
right?
You
They're
know,
the ones that are
You're right.
just fair as
Yeah.
fair.
All right, that's good. It's good ad.
And then like, we said 10 minutes, but like there are some fast runners and there are some slow bikers. So let's do 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not as worried about the slow bikes.
Man, it is a show if we need to get the bikers out of the way because when there's bikers and runners crossing, it's a mess.
I know.
So the more we can do to prevent that, the better.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
enough said about
Okay,
that.
that's fine. That's fine. Okay, finish line. Don't think there's anything new. David, are you gonna be at the finish line?
What day is it? The 19th?
20th.
20th. I don't know if my kids have sports
Okay.
Oh.
that I have to be a parent for.
Patty, I can be at the finish line because I'm at the start line and I can go around because I have to be for the at the library table at 11 or 12. So I can be at the finish line before
Well,
that.
we'll figure it out because talking about volunteers, so I have a note into the Priory to get volunteers.
Oh, for the
They
kids, yeah.
get me 2 or 3 kids, which is fine, but Bill's gonna need probably 1 or 2 more. So I may take you up on that. David, it'd be great if you could be there. But other than that, the finish line, the biggest, same as always, we'll have the blow up, we'll have
Yeah.
the pylons, try and separate the cyclists and the runners coming in at the end, although that's never very successful with the fastest ones. We'll have the time, we'll have the medals, the plaques. I need somebody to take photos, blah, blah. The biggest, one of the biggest open questions we have at the finish line is there's been a suggestion that we hand out some kind of end of race, like smoothie or, something refreshing for everybody that finishes. So, we've tried to do that before. I will not go into it. It was not a good experience, but I'm open to new things. So we are looking at what those options might be. So I don't really have anything more to say about that because we have a couple feelers out about that. May or may not do it. All depends on logistics. All depends on if we can get the right people down there. You'd need something cool if it's going to be like a popsicle to keep it cold. Need people to hand them out. There's a lot of logistics, but I'm still open to it, and we'll see what happens.
Something like Gatorade would be great.
I'm sorry.
Something like Gatorade. Cold drink.
Yeah, still have to wait to keep it cold
Ice in a bucket. No,
for 400 people.
no, a lot of buckets.
A lot of
What
Gatorade.
about trying to find a vendor, somebody in a like a snow cone truck or something where you don't even have to pay them and they just come out, tell them you get 400 people and it's up to
So
their discretion.
that was the disaster that happened.
Ah,
I tried two different vendors. I won't name their names in case people love them because I am not a big fan. And I had really bad experiences with both. That being said, I did reach out to another vendor. So Steve, yeah, I've got that as an option, but we've tried it and it had twice not worked. So
yeah,
And also,
sounds good on paper, but execution is probably a
know.
challenge. Yeah.
execution is the challenge. So that's really all on the finish line, I
Hmm.
think. Picnic, no real open issues. As Karen said, all the vendors are booked. We have the petting zoo, pony rides, we have the inflatables, we have the band, we have the fire truck, we have the dunk tank, and I'm still working on all of the booths because most committees meet during August and decide if they want a booth or not. So still to figure that out. Logistically, where all the booths are going to go. Got the tables, chairs, booths, got the food trucks, got the Scouts of America, got the Cub Scouts, everybody. So, biggest issue or open item, as Karen pointed out, is just logistically the dunk tank. We're getting it there, have a way to get it filled, but we need volunteers to kind of monitor. We need volunteers to get wet. We need volunteers to throw. It's gonna be one of those things where you throw a ball and hit it down in the water. So I think those are the biggest things for I see your hair, Karen. I'm just thinking in my mind, but I'll let you go ahead and talk while I think. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I have a bad connection because I cut out for a while. But back to the ice cream at the end of the race. Didn't you mention that a booth is serving ice cream there?
no, it's the library. We do.
Yeah, so there's going to be
The Portola Valley Library. So we have an ice cream truck outside the library.
okay. So, and that starts at 11, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. And then on the duck tank, I believe, so we actually have a donor who is funding the dunk tank this year. And I think, Patty, if I remember, we have to get the committee approval for the donation. Do you remember this from Tony?
No, but I'm all for it. I will have.
So I
it-
think we should officially do that since we're here. And then I don't know if you mentioned, because as I said, I think I was cutting out that, I already forgot what I was gonna say. It was about the dunk tank. Well, let's do the donor thing. Oh, if any of you, Steve, you have younger kids, Dave, your kids are at least in high school, know of any teachers. I am looking at a 30-year-old teacher from the Priory that we're gonna see if we can get to be willing to be dunked. Oh, and I wanted to just mention, and maybe you did, that my son, Duncan actually will be helping run the thing, but we will need more volunteers than that. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay. Yeah, so to that point, if anybody has any ideas about people that want to get wet at the picnic, send your names to Karen or reach out to them individually and ask them. And if they agree, send their names to Karen. So we're gonna try and get like the town council, some teachers,
Yeah,
you know,
town
things
staff,
like that. I'm sorry.
town staff.
You know, we actually asked, we did ask 2 of the staff members today and they politely declined.
The Blob was one of them. The Blob said no. Steve, you have a comment?
Yeah, I've got 2 friends that are staff at Priory. I'm happy to ask both of them. And then we do this every year at the Alpine Hit-a-thon at La Entrada. And the go-to person for that is a gentleman named Kalen Thomas. He lives in Ladera. So my question was, what percentage of the community or what percentage of the attendees are from Ladera? Is there a big representation from folks in Ladera, or is it not, do they not traditionally join?
You know, we don't capture that. I don't know if we capture that information.
Mm-mm.
We don't capture it, but Ladera is considered a sphere of influence. So
Mhm.
for instance, with trivia night, there's been teams from Ladera. I mean, they are more than welcome to attend the picnic.
Okay. Okay. So I've got two folks at Priory and 2 folks in Ladera that could be rallied to do this. So I'll chat with them individually.
Thank you.
Sure.
This is when we should just serve alcohol because, you know, the more beers you get people, the more, you know, looser they become about maybe getting wet on a hot day. But don't think we should be serving alcohol.
Karen, how
Um,
many people do you want to dunk?
Well, so the picnic is just for 2 hours.
Okay.
So, and if my memory serves me correctly, what ended up happening at the dunk tank when my kids were little is a lot of the kids wanted to be dunked. Now they were hot days and I did get some good guidance that some kids will not be big enough to be able to get dunked. So we have to be very, very careful and probably
I
get
see.
parental approval prior to that happening. But
Yeah.
hopefully, just like you, once we get the start cleaned up, we'll head up over Westridge and come in that way, right? Is
Yeah.
that what you were planning to do?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, definitely. We probably need one of those signs like Disneyland. You have to be this tall, you know, to go into the dunk tank. And I think it's, you know, you have to be able to stand up in the water, right? Isn't that the,
Yeah.
is that the criteria?
42 inches. Yeah.
Is it 42 inches?
Yeah.
So you must be 42 inches.
Well, you gotta be
Okay.
higher, you gotta be taller than that.
For this, for
Because-
the dunk tank.
Oh.
Yeah.
42 and a half. And
Well,
your mouth has to be, your chin has to be 42 inches.
well,
So you
I
can
think we
breathe
need,
above the water.
You need to
I
measure
think what
it.
we should do is get, yeah, is probably say get your parent, you know, so we'll work on that. And hopefully it's gonna be a hot day.
Well, good and bad, but yeah. Do we need towels at the finish? Do we need towels there?
Towels?
You're frozen.
Um,
Karen.
You know, So we talked about, and when I put stuff in the forum, I'll say, bring your suit and towel.
Perfect.
But we can have some extra towels. I have plenty of towels here.
Actually,
so-
that would be a good giveaway some year, is a towel that people can use at the duck tank.
Let's get through this year.
Oh, okay, anything else on the pic? Okay, we will have a meeting. Our meeting in September is the Tuesday before the picnic, so
Oh,
we have
good.
anything last minute, we'll be in good shape. Okay, going once, going twice. Picnic Zots. Okay, closed. So I see that Robert was here. Longer here. I guess we
Robert?
missed him. Sorry. Sorry, Robert. I was gonna jump to the stuff for Robert. Well, if he comes back, we will change the agenda. Okay. Okay, we're going to game night. Okay, as everybody is aware, Michael Chang had to step away from the committee, and but John Myers has indicated that he will be back from his travels by the time the trivia night comes around. So if we need an MC, John has indicated that he's happy to step up and do that. And that's, I think, Karen, how you and John did the initial one. So, we've kind of been there, done that. We can put questions together. We can, I feel pretty confident that we can kind of work through the game night. Once we get through the picnic, I mean, that's our next big push. Doesn't take that long to get organized. We've done it. I think we're pretty familiar with what we need to do. Anything else that you wanted to talk about for game night?
Mm,
No? Okay,
in October.
it's in November.
No, in October, we'll talk about it.
Oh,
Well, that'll be too late, actually.
You think?
Yeah,
we
because
should
it's
probably-
November 8th,
we should probably talk about it heavily
Next-
in September.
next month.
About-
Yeah,
Who's gonna own what? Who's
Yeah.
gonna be in charge of
Okay,
which piece of it? We'll talk about that in September.
okay.
Let's just get through Zots. Okay, nothing else on game night. Okay, town courts. So it's actually what I was hoping Robert would be here for. So the only the outstanding item that we've been on is the resurfacing. So I sent a note to Tony. Tony confirmed that the funds have been approved. They are available. So I said, great. What's the next step? He said, you need to work with Robert and the Public Works Department. So I sent a note to Robert and asked him what was the next step, because we obviously like to get this done before the roofs hit. So I don't know the good news is we got the money.
Mhm.
Now we need to, get the project going. So I will continue to work with Robert and find out what the next steps would be. If it's, get a more updated quote, get a final drawing. Once we get to that point, we can have discussions about the lines and the colors and things like that. Probably a little premature to go there, because I just need to understand the timeline. Go ahead, Karen.
With the Tony sent, and I'm happy to share what I was asking him about the Ford Field funding. And he sent the update of what was approved. And just so people are aware, and let me just go check. I'm pretty sure it's $30,000. So I'm just throwing that out there because as we're getting the estimates, I know the council has approved 30,000, but if it turns out to be more, I just want to throw that out that we may have to figure out what the procedure is.
Well, I'll have to check on that. The fund that we're using has more than 30,000 in it. So, you know,
It does, but here, let me just share this. I think I still have it up. Because this was all new to me. I went to the May 28th meeting where they talked about the Ford Field stuff. And then, as you know, well, we'll talk about that next. This Fund 221 that you see over here
yeah,
is the Parks and Rec in lieu or whatever. And they've budgeted to 30,000. So, you know, and they've got this total here. So I just want to make people aware that there might be something that has to get done if it's over 30,000, because
Yeah.
this is what they've budgeted. And as you know, they're trying very hard to stick to their budget.
yeah. Oh, great, thanks. Although technically, if it goes over, it's not money. Anyway, that's an accounting thing. Okay.
It could be that they're thinking that the money might get spent for some other project. I don't know. I thought it was interesting that it's just 30 in there.
They can't have it, it's ours. It's our fund.
Patty, who's responsible for sourcing the contractors and getting the estimates?
Usually Public Works. I mean, Cindy has some contacts. Justin has contacts of people that have done it in the past. So they usually have those same people come out. So I'm not sure there's that many people that do it, but Public Works usually takes the lead on that.
Okay. Yep. I'm just curious.
Is Justin part of Public Works? Is that the group he's in? Because he's been handling it for the last few years, getting the estimates and whatever we
Yeah.
ask him to do.
My guess is that Justin's gonna take he's gonna be the point person, just
Yeah.
like always. But I need to go to Robert to confirm that and see if we can work directly with Justin, you know, to get it done. So, hi, Lindsay. Nice to see you.
Oh, Lindsay, hi.
How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Well, the top half of your head looks really good.
Say what?
The top half of your head looks really good.
But
Anyway, sorry.
where do you
Okay.
see me? Well, as long as we don't get together and you wake up with me, it'll probably be okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. Is there anything else on the courts, Cindy?
There's a tiny thing that I think that's bothering me, but I don't know if I should bring it up now. It's got to do with league and the number of reservations they've been making. They reserve always court 2, which is basically a priority tennis court. And I was asked yesterday if they could reserve 6 hours on Sundays in the afternoons, whereas pickleball has that court all morning. And then now they want it for league play, and I don't think that's right. They shouldn't be able to take the tennis priority court for the whole day. I mean, they really shouldn't. So, my question would be is, so far we have not allowed reservations on court 1, the pickleball one, the one with the permanent sort of nets we never move. And I'd like to let them reserve for league matches there rather than take all of the tennis court. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What would it replace? Like, can you go to the screen that shows on PV Pickleball that shows when the courts are being used? Cindy, can you share that?
Schedule? Yeah,
Yeah.
but it doesn't interfere with any pickleball already times, which are the drop-in times, which are only, I can show you that schedule if you'd like. Let me see. Do I pull up what I want first and then share, or
if
do
you
I
want.
share, pull it up?
Either way, depends on how much you want us to see what's on your computer.
Oh, you don't want to see what's on my computer. My, okay. Oh, it was the town. Um,
Oh, this isn't the one that shows the drop-in. I mean, there's the
no,
one
I don't,
you're-
no, that's where I was
Oh.
earlier. and It's just there. So,
Oh,
let
Would
me
you
try-
rather, are you sharing then?
no, that's, departments. That's not what I want to show. I want to show my website, but I really don't know how to do this. I've never done it.
Go and open a new tab and open up your website. Just go to a new tab and
I'm
hit
trying to get up there to the tabs and it won't let me. If I do, it just won't let me.
Here,
Just go
hang
to
on a sec.
pvpickleball.net and go to the schedule.
Here, hang on.
Do it.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
PV Pickleball.
.net.
Bottom thing.
There you go. And then go to the menus where it says schedule, and then
Oh,
the
that's
little
weird.
lines on the right-hand side, and there'll be a schedule. Yeah, schedule.
Here we go.
So what with the drop-in times are the important times. The other times are free times, which means anybody can go. The town goes, people, you know, anybody. These times are the times that you don't want somebody reserving the courts. The drop-in play times.
Okay, so Sunday right now, it's 8 to 1 is all levels.
Yes.
And it's on courts 1 and 2. I was there. It was on courts 1 and
Yes, it's
2.
courts of 1 and 2.
And then they want it.
Then they wanted to take court 2 all afternoon, which is a tennis priority court. And I just think that's wrong to have all of Sundays blocked from tennis. Even though court 3 is available, court 3 isn't as it's got
Well,
more lines. It's not as nice.
Tennis has court 3.
Oh, yeah. All sports court is court 3.
Yeah, and when I was there on Sunday, there were people playing tennis on court 3, but then if that happens, nobody can play basketball, right? I mean, obviously
Right.
having the shared courts isn't
One or the other.
simple.
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. These are
really
things that
don't-
maybe we need to better understand from the tennis community, how much they're using that court on Sundays, right? Do we know that?
Well, we can't know that because we're constantly friggin' reserving them. I mean, I don't know how to reach them.
Oh, they're already reserving them even though it's priority tennis. I understand. And how far in advance are they doing that?
They're allowed to reserve them for the league season because they pay the fees to allow that reservation. I just think it's too much. They are adding teams every freaking year. So now
You know
we've
what?
got 8 teams.
I think just on the surface of what I heard, I agree with you. And I played in a match against a team. It was I think it's the lowest level. And none of the people I played against were from Portola Valley.
Exactly. The league has, they're recruiting from outside and it disturbs me a great deal.
Are they paying
So-
the non-local?
No, there's no non-local. The league players,
Sense Club?
they're paying, league players pay, but we don't allow them, for example, to reserve for practice times because then the courts would be reserved all the time with that many teams. And so they have to figure out when to play with each other outside of, they're only allowed to reserve for matches, but still with 8 teams, it's 48 every 3 months, you know, I mean, it's a lot of matches.
Isn't there a rule on how many non-PV players they can have on a team? Doesn't it have to be
No,
at
and
least?
that
Oh,
no, but soccer and softball have that, and we don't. We never.
Mm,
This is so new. No, we don't. I mean, I think it's something that
yeah.
should be discussed. I think
Where is that rule?
for the soccer players,
Yeah.
I just look up the Portola Valley soccer website and it's got something on there. You have to live or work in Portola Valley to be on the soccer
Yeah,
team.
same for softball.
That's
do you
what I
want me
thought.
to stop
Yeah.
sharing the screen?
Oh yeah,
Are
you
we-
can stop sharing it. Yeah, I
Well,
think we need to delve into this issue. I didn't mean to take a lot of time
Well,
tonight.
no, I mean, that's what we're supposed to be discussing. I mean, if this is
Well,
an issue with how the courts are being used, that's part of our, responsibility.
Okay.
So I think we should discuss it. I don't know if we have a solution right now, but I agree that just because they're increasing league teams doesn't mean that they should dominate the courts, even though they do play. There has to be a balance with, residents being allowed to have access to the courts.
Exactly. And what I've noticed is that, we have all of our hours posted outside on that kiosk thing. And a lot of town members come as soon as we're done. I mean, people I don't know, just families and people appear, tennis players appear like at 6 o'clock at night when we're done. And the after work kinds of people come in and they're not part of our group, but they use our pickleball courts, they use the tennis court, and it's increasing. I mean, people recognize that this stuff is here now and they're coming, and I just think that's really cool that we have that ability. And I just really don't want league players kicking other people off, residents off who want to play.
Patty, can SCETA keep, is there a way that SCETA can block the leagues from reserving the court?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That-
we choose to let them or not let them. The problem is we
Oh.
don't set any rules, I mean, it's, I
Okay,
didn't know there were going to be 8 teams when they started,
yeah, that's a lot. Eight
Oh, yeah,
teams
we can-
every season?
SCETA allows
Now they just added one. Yeah.
we
Wow.
can times. Absolutely.
We
Steve,
what?
get your hand up.
No, I didn't. I give a thumbs up to what Cindy
Oh.
was saying. I've spent a lot of time on Sundays there trying to do basketball and trying to do just mess around with tennis with the kids, and it's the success rate is very low in being able to secure any space. So while I respect the pickleball enthusiasm, I think that's too much to dominate an entire Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if it's only, let's say, 2 out of 4 Sundays, it's too much.
Yeah.
And for a league match, they reserve 3 hours because they need warm-up time and they need to be sure that they can finish their matches and this, that. It's just a lot of time. And I think that we ought to maybe think about saying you can only reserve pickleball courts, not court 2. I mean, that's potentially something that you can't reserve court 2 anymore. You'll have to do it all within pickleball free hours. I mean, it's possible, or to split it some way that we don't use so much of that court.
Well, how about, no, so number one, I would propose that we tell the league they cannot reserve Sunday afternoons.
Okay,
That is for tennis. And that potentially the pickleball board of directors take this into account and potentially come back to this committee with a proposal on how to manage this issue. I mean, I want the
I think
courts
that's good.
to be used if it's harmonious and, equitable, so to speak.
So
Yeah.
Can I just ask one question? So Cindy, if I'm understanding you, there's 8 teams and they each have, oh, they don't have a match there every week because they'll play
They're home matches.
like every other week, right? But probably they split. So every other week. So 12, but 12, assume that it would be 12 hours a week is being reserved for matches now. If you took 4 teams, not 8 teams, right? You see what I'm saying? Is if you split
Yeah.
it weekly, it's 12 hours a week that's going to the leagues. And it's
They
not,
also want practice. They also want practice time.
They do take their practice time, but they work their practice times in at times where we don't have drop-ins.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
just the league matches that
It's
are.
matches that are taking the reservation times. But I think the problem for me is that it's weekends that they want those matches. There's only one group that does a midweek match out of all 8 teams. The rest want Friday, Saturdays and Sundays.
well, and
That just seems unreasonable.
yeah, and
that teams.
given there's no lights, what they're
Correct.
they know that they can't do it after, if they're looking for after work, and then in a fall season they can't. Fall and winter, okay. Yeah, it doesn't
That's
seem
why he
fair.
was asking for 12 to 6, it's like, oh, we could run 2 matches in a row. No. No.
So
It just rubbed me wrong.
All right. Well,
So
we
you want
also
to do
just
that
have
in the
to tell them that
pickleball?
Portola Valley can't. We have to tell them Portola Valley can't support that many league teams.
Okay, so Patty, when we have
Just don't
we'll
have-
have a board meeting and discuss this
space.
and do that.
And, I think it would be great to discuss how many Portola Valley residents need to be on a team. I know at like Alpine for their outside swim team that they have, not their club team, they have to have a certain number. I don't know what it is, like 70% or something, so that it's serving the
Community.
residents or the community, that kind of thing. Is maybe you guys can just discuss that and figure that out.
I agree 100%, because if we could lower the number by, because I don't know, because I'm not part of the league. I just, have the club. And someone told me recently that it was more than 50% now, because they recruit from outside, because that's how competitive people do things. They go find players that they've met elsewhere and they bring them in, and so we do need to
David,
find
did
someone.
you have a comment?
Hmm?
David?
yeah, I'm looking at the court usage policy, and it's talking about tennis having priority on court 1 on Sunday afternoons and Saturday mornings, and that seems not accurate anymore. So
That's
I'm wondering-
correct. That's not accurate anymore.
So when does tennis have priority on court 2?
Sunday afternoons and Saturday afternoons, basically now.
Then we need to update, where are you looking,
We
David? Is
do
that on
need
the
to
town
update
site?
that, but we've been waiting. No, it's on my website. It's also been
No, it's
published.
it's on the department's Park and Rec, public parks and
Park and
athletic
Recs, it's
fields,
everywhere.
tennis hall, sports courts.
So we did that like 3 years ago, and that was before we bought the nets that we decided to leave on court 1, but we were waiting to get the courts resurfaced before we changed the policy, but it's taken so long to get the courts resurfaced to change the policy, and it just not, we don't want to do things piecemeal, because it's not the way it's going to end up,
Okay, so we need to update the
the policy.
town website.
Yeah, we do. I was hoping to get everything resurfaced and the lines all redone.
But
And
the surfacing doesn't affect the policy.
well, it does if we make court 1 totally pickleball, because right now you can go back to tennis if you want.
Well, but for all intents and purposes, court 1 is all pickleball now.
Correct.
I mean,
That was a test to
Well,
see
the
if
lines-
everybody
the
lines
everybody did.
don't really matter in that regard. Tennis players are not going to be playing on court 1.
They hated it anyway.
Well, they can't. So,
Yeah.
Um, David Cardinal, did you have a comment?
I did a little bit to follow up on what Karen said. I lived through this at Alpine with tennis teams, and it was really ugly, actually. But we came up with a rule that said you need over half members, and a number of the teams who wanted to be really competitive complained really loudly, and we drew the line, and they just went off and formed at Kenyatta College. So at some level, that's the deal. I think it's a Portola Valley, and if somebody wants a national championship team, they should build a pickleball court or find their own. What that helped was a lot of the competitive teams weren't really drawing from our membership. And what I think having a requirement that you have to be at least half PV members or 3/4 or whatever the number is they'll dig harder for locals because that would let them play there versus just skipping that and finding their 10 area friends and making a team. So I'm a huge supporter of we're paying the money, it's our courts. I'm big on whatever you decide to try and control that. So that's just based on my kind of hard fought experience.
Okay. Do we know what soccer and softball are? I mean, Little League?
Soft,
Or
Little
what-
League is done based on district. So Menlo and Alpine, I'm sorry, Menlo and Portola Valley for Alpine Little League. And then for softball, I believe it's 100% you either have to work or live in PV or Woodside. I'm not positive on the Woodside. I just know
Talking
that
about-
there's Woodside folks that are playing, which I assume passed the test because the addresses are checked and that's all evaluated.
You're talking about the adult softball?
Yeah.
It's not 100%, but it's pretty dang close to PV or Ladera or a few Woodside people.
And,
But it's like high 80s of PV residents.
Is there
Yeah,
any for soccer?
Pretty sure the
Soccer's-
site says you have to live or work here.
It does. I was just looking, it does not. And I remember when I was playing before, it was really close, and they may actually not have that anymore.
Oh, really?
officially. I think John
Adult
opined that.
or AYSO or both?
I mean, adult soccer. There's nothing for the kids.
and Steve, the Little League isn't it West Menlo Park and does it include
yeah.
Woodside as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's kind of different because they're paying a different kind of fee to use
Yeah,
the
but
field.
pissed me off. ESPN, all they said was it was Menlo Park team.
Menlo Park. Yeah.
They didn't even mention Portola Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they just started talking about it was next to Stanford. Can we talk about something else? besides whatever.
I have a totally out of band question. Were any of the players on the team from Portola Valley? I couldn't figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot.
Bodie
Yes.
Bednar, the pitcher that was on fire in that game, is from Portola Valley. He lives right around the corner from me. It's really exciting. Steve, who
Does
are the
the-
other players?
Yeah, Bodie lives on Corte Madera. I believe there were at least 4 or 5 others, and then the rest probably from West Menlo.
Oh, that's great because I looked at the lineups and the schools and I didn't see like Corte Madera or whatever, but obviously that doesn't matter. But okay, that's great to know. I would not have found that out from watching the coverage.
But yeah, Bodie's at Cormadera. His mom is a fixture, and like she runs the Ormondale play for the past 12 years, something crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish our town would do something like put something on the weekly reminder about the team and names of our local kids. I think that'd be great.
Should get
I don't
Sangini
know
in
if
the
that's possible. Anyway, okay, so what I'm hearing is there's a desire by this committee to look into developing a policy that would require a certain percentage of the league teams to be Portola Valley residents, correct? Am I hearing that from
There on that
the
or not?
committee?
Yeah, I think it's great.
David, is that,
Are we including
support that?
Ladera?
I think that's up for discussion.
yes. Sphere of influence, that's up to the committee, but
Okay.
yeah. I think sphere of influence,
Okay, I
get
just,
Corte Madera in there and
We,
whatever.
yeah, and we've always
Uh,
included Los Trancos, even though technically they're not in the town of Portola Valley. So,
But they're in the
you know,
spirit. And,
yeah,
I think
um,
I generally look at the Portola Valley School District.
yeah. If they're,
Yeah.
if they had kids, would their
community.
kids go to PV schools?
Yeah.
That to me is a bigger thing because.
Or
Ladera-
are they in La Entrada or in Ladera?
Yeah, it would have to be because they don't. My community is all Ormondale, Corte Madera people,
okay, so the Portola Valley Pickleball Board of Directors will take this up and come back to this committee with a proposal.
I
Is
think
that
that's
reasonable,
great.
Cindy?
Yeah, that's great.
Are we taking, and then we have an action to update the website, right? And then are we
Yes.
gonna stop league play on priority pickleball or priority tennis times
don't
since
know
they only have like Saturday and Sunday afternoons?
No, we said they can't have Sunday afternoons. We've already said that.
What about Saturday afternoons?
Saturday afternoon they can, because it's pickleball courts if they take one.
But that's not fair. That's not really what's happening because Saturday morning pickleball is taking up both courts.
Because no
Wow.
tennis players ever came, so
Yeah.
I don't see why we can't just use court one. Tell them to fit it into court one instead of reserving court two. I mean, I can take a look at it to see where all the reservations are and see what effect that would have. But 90% of their matches are from 1 to 4 in the afternoons on weekends.
Okay,
don't
let's
play pickleball.
remember,
Oh.
tennis still has court 3. We're not blocking out tennis. Ever,
Ever, that's true.
ever. Tennis, and I understand they have to share with basketball. I understand that. But we're not blocking out tennis. So
Uh,
I agree it needs to be a balance, but that's not the language.
How are you not blocking out tennis if pickleball is taking both courts and basketball wants to play on their priority court?
In basketball and tennis are have to share court 3.
Right.
Okay, David, we only have 3 courts. Right now, there's more pickleball players than there are basketball and tennis. So
Yeah.
we have to strike a balance.
I do. I'm not disagreeing with this, but I do think we've scared tennis players off because of the pickleball usage. And I think I heard Steve say something sort of to that effect, if he's still there. It's a little intimidating.
Yeah, and basketball. Unless I've had less experience in running into issues on tennis courts, more basketball. And I'm sure that, to your point, people know that reputation is there, and they just probably gave up on going Sunday afternoons or whenever they know that pickleball's there.
Basketball can play on court 3 on Sunday afternoons.
As long as there's no tennis players, yeah. Yeah,
Why
court 3
can't
is
basketball
the only one with
play
basketball.
there while pickleball is there? They can.
There's no pickleball on court 3.
No,
Yeah.
just
Why
tennis.
can't basketball? Steve, I'm just trying to
Maybe
understand.
the basketball. I'm under the impression that the basketball is you're unable to play basketball because of the tennis and pickleball combination. But if you're telling me that nobody plays pickleball on
There's
the
no
basketball
pickleball on
court,
court 3, no.
so maybe
Pickleball
it's
is not
tennis.
allowed on court 3 at any time,
'Cause
ever.
there's hardly any tennis players.
So
Okay.
Well,
I've definitely seen the portable nets set up on the basketball court.
No,
Well, Cindy,
Whether it's a part of the league or if it's just random people putting it there, it's probably the
Oh, it could
latter
be
instead
random
of,
people,
yeah.
but it's not
Yeah.
us, that's for
If,
sure.
if they're there, they're not supposed to be. So, I mean, if you see that, feel free
Yeah, take a
to
picture, I'll
them
get them.
off. But,
but
there should, yeah, we'll get them.
Okay.
No, I agree. That is not allowed.
That's not okay, yeah.
And we should, maybe we should put up signs, Cindy, that say pickleball's not allowed on court 3.
Yeah, I could make a sign.
Anyway, I know this is hard. It's just a real balance. We've got multiple people, trying to fit into a funnel that doesn't always, and they all kind of want to play at the same time. We've all got weekends, and meanwhile, courts every afternoon are empty. Nobody's on them.
That's right.
So,
So I think that
it's-
should be relegated to the leagues.
yeah, I think we have to strike a balance, and I'm aware of that. Anyway, okay, so you're right. So Dave, thanks for reminding me. You need to update the David
Policy.
for the town website, and we need to come back with a proposal for PV players on league teams. And we've said the league cannot reserve Sundays.
And we might want to choose to have a limit of the number of matches per month or something.
Yeah, well, let's leave that up to the board.
Yeah.
Come back with a proposal.
I'll share one more tidbit is that Palo Alto allows leagues now. It's the biggest club in the area. They have 15 courts, but Palo Alto does not allow league play on their courts. So we host all Palo Alto players on our courts, or not all of them. They play their home games wherever they're going, who they're playing with. Do you understand that? Since they're not allowed to
since
No.
it's like if they didn't have a swimming pool, but they're the home team for the swim meet, they go to the other
other
person's
place.
court.
And so that
Oh.
that added 8 matches for a season. I think that's
Well, we shouldn't allow that. So if we come up with a rule that certain number of players have to be PB, that would eliminate that problem, correct?
not really, because what you're saying is that the limitation would be on the players in your league as opposed not to players in a particular match. I mean, because it's always be.
You
I,
can explain that to me when we meet.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Okay, I
Okay.
know that's always a contentious topic. Everybody's input on that. I wish we had room to build more courts.
Me too.
Okay, let's go to Ford Field bathrooms.
Well, Dave, you're welcome to pipe up whenever you want. Dave and I had a meeting with, now I can't remember. I know that Emily Lane was there, anyway, and we were told that there's a new step to take, is the ASCC now has a, if you will, an opt-in review process. And so they said, what we want to do is have you meet with the ASCC for this opt-in review process. So we revised our deck and we added more information. And then we received a note from Emily probably a week later that said that everything is on hold. The town manager needs to understand the funding, which I was sort of surprised at because the funding essentially would come from the $187,000 grant, which has to be, excuse me, used and completed by 2028. And I'm personally getting a little worried because we know how long things take and private fundraising. So, but needless to say, what I also learned, which I was unaware of, and I can go back and share this sheet, is in the May 28th, no, maybe I can share this sheet. Is this it? No? Here, in the May 28th town council meeting, they discussed capital improvement projects. And this Ford Field had a line item of $9,600. 1,600 was coming out of one bucket and 8 out of another, and it was for dedicated to doing the planning piece of it, which at this point has just been some staff time, in my opinion. I don't know, Dave, you're welcome to differ, but at some subsequent meeting that they had, at which I was unaware, the funding did not get approved for that. So at this point, until we can meet with Darcy and better understand and explain our concerns about putting it on hold and for how long, given the grant money and the fact that it will take us a while to fundraise the other amount that we might need, which could be a couple $100,000. We're just stuck in the water. And Dave, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I agree. As far as that goes.
So it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, the other thing to note, as an aside, like I was talking with a guy whose basically business is ushering sewer projects through the gauntlet, for lack of a better word, and it will be a multi-year project. So if we don't get going, we will not be done by the time the grant money is expired. So we kind of got to get her going.
Yeah, if
I'm in
I
agreement,
recall-
and I think Patty's gonna step in and help at least have the discussion with Darcy, correct?
Yeah, if I recall, in order to qualify for the grant, does the construction have to be completed?
Yes. According to Robert, and now he's not here, he had said invoices completed and invoiced. You know, everything needs to be done.
So that means that we have to pay up front and the state reimburses us?
I
That's a
don't
s-
know.
That's a scary proposition. Okay, I need to understand how the grant works. So, yes, this is very disappointing because, I mean, for a lot of reasons. And it would be great to be able to do something that kind of piggybacked off the success of the team. Now that they've gotten all this publicity and people got excited about the team,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be fantastic to come back and say, hey, your Alpine Little League
Yeah.
almost World Series team plays on a field that has, you know,
Bathroom.
shitty bleachers and porta potties, you know? And if you look at the stadiums that were on the TV, I realize that's not where all the teams play. But, you know, can you imagine TV cameras coming to Ford Field? God, that would be embarrassing.
You know, I realize what we probably haven't shared is the latest draft of the document, which I'll just email to all of you. It's just it's in a Google Doc or whatever, Google Sheet, whatever it's called. I can email that to you just so you have an idea of what, you know, what we've done and what we're looking at, just to keep you
that'd be good
updated.
for my meeting. So what I have requested a meeting with Darcy, the new town manager, and I was gonna do it anyway, because obviously I like to bring her up to speed on everything that's going on in Parks and Rec. But I'm gonna make this my #1 priority to talk to her about and emphasize the timeliness of moving on this you know, as I was talking about this, thinking, we have $46,000 in that reserve fund. You know, why couldn't we use part of that to pay for the time to plan for this? If we don't use all of it for the court resurfacing. I don't understand. It's our money.
I was thinking of that as well,
Right
but obviously we need to
there.
know what the,
It's in a piggy
Yeah.
bank. It's not like. Yeah, I know. But anyway, I'm gonna be meeting with Darcy. I've asked for a meeting in the next 2 weeks. I know she's busy, you know, I'll see what I can get and I'll come back to the committee and let you know. David Bailey, you have a comment?
Steve had his hand up first.
Steven?
Thank you. Yeah, this is in lieu of the bathrooms on the trailers, right? The last I heard was that was going to be the temporary solution. Now this is evolved into a permanent structure proposal.
Correct.
Cool.
I mean, we could go back to the trailers, which are probably better than the porta potties. And that's probably a negotiation with Little League, because I think they paid for them last time. But we were gonna kind of leave from that and say, you know, permanent facilities would be a much better solution. You know, we had that prefab building that we could just drop in. I mean, it started to look like a pretty good solution. Granted, we had challenges with easements and sewer, stuff like that. But, and I don't mean to downplay those are very large issues. But you know, if we could leapfrog it, that'd be great. If not,
Yeah.
we have to go back to the trailers.
Yeah. Thank you.
David Bailey?
Do we need town staff for the next steps of meeting with ASCC?
Yes,
Why?
because it's the plan. We have to get the planning department involved. Before
With our ASCC opt-in meeting?
so Dave, what Emily got back to us with is that everything was put on hold. And so there was no reason they weren't going to have us meet with ASCC because it was on hold. It stopped everything. But I am going to send this because Steve, yeah, there's a little bit of information and shows the company that we were looking at using and what it could look like and such. It's just a discussion draft. And so
Karen, the reason Emily, my understanding is the reason that Emily came back, you had asked the planning department for some information. And that Emily was coming back and saying the planning department could not spend any time on the project.
no, what happened is I sent Emily the latest discussion draft with the request to do the ASCC opt-in. Let me check my email. And she got back a few days later. And let me just,
Yeah, I'm aware of what she said.
and I just want to get this right. So she said, thank you for sharing your updated slides. And those I gave her for the ASCC opt-in. Staff has received direction from our manager, Darcy Smith, to halt staff work on the Ford Field restrooms until town council allocates funding to support the project. So, but
Until
staff work involves setting up the ASCC opt-in meetings as well.
I call BS on that, because if we were a bunch of private donors who are just going to plunk the money down ourselves, we would have an ASCC meeting. Like, as a private resident, if I want to have an opt-in meeting, they would schedule me. They should schedule this with or without dedicated funding.
Okay, yeah, they basically, that's why we need to meet with Darcy.
Yeah.
And that's a good question we can ask is, well, should we still have the meeting? But I think what they said is no, since there's We're just not gonna have staff work on it. And so that they do, planning staff does coordinate the ASCC meetings.
Well, kind of agree with David on that. I thought the reason they were starting it is because we had asked the planning department to do some work.
No. I had spoken with one of the planning commissioners who had some thoughts, but this was that they had told us the next, they meaning the planning staff, which was Emily, said the next step was to do the ASCC opt-in process, and she sent me all the instructions, and then I sent her back something, and then she said, it's now on hold.
Well, I agree with David. I mean, we can go to any.
Say that again, Patty.
I agree with David. I think we should kind of push through and just sit down, David.
Can
Okay,
someone tell me
that's-
what ASCC is?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
The ASCC is the Architectural Site Review and Control Committee. And for any kind of building project, there's two commissions. There's the ASCC and there's the Planning Commission. And the ASCC is looking at things to make sure that the plans are in accordance with.
Does it look right for Portola Valley?
Yeah, that's a good
Gotcha.
way to put it.
mean-
And then the Planning Commission just sort of looks at if it fits
Is it legal?
within all the zoning issues and codes and stuff like that.
Thank you.
But I did just send you the document so you can get up to speed on where we were when we
Cool.
stopped our progress.
Well, I
Thank
think
you.
based on that, I mean, I'll read it, but based on that, I think one of my conversations with Darcy is, we should be able to meet with the SCC. Regardless of whether you think we have funding or not. But I'll hold my tongue until I get there. David Cardinal, do you have a comment?
Oh, absolutely. I would, separate from meeting with Darcy or whomever, I would go direct to the source. I would get in touch with Carter War. And if you don't know him, I'm happy to get you in touch with him. And maybe Dana, they're both on the ASCC. Gina Dixon, they're all fans of the opt-in process, which is super new and nobody really knows who pays for it and what it's about yet, because the paint is still drying on the paper. But for two reasons. One is you'll start to get a constituency. And the other one is you can start in parallel to actually get your architectural work done while you fight out this kind of horrific funding thing, which sort of snuck up. I don't even know when the money got deleted, and I go to almost every meeting of everything.
I'm
But
in
it goes-
agreement with you, Dave. The last meeting I was in, they had $9,600 there.
Yeah, so in any case, yes, you can. The little Google says they're going to lower my hand. So in any case, I would go to the ASCC members that you know, or even that you don't know, especially because this is a good time for Little League, and Carter's been here for decades, and get them kind of on your side, and they can meet with whomever they want. So they don't have to need if Carter and Dana want to hang out with you. We've already made it clear the meetings are private. They're not public. They're not noticed. They're informational. They're not official. I think they would probably be delighted to hang out with you for an hour and talk about stuff and get you on the record. And if not, I'm happy to nag them.
Well,
But I would do that.
okay, my husband's on the ASCC, and obviously I asked if that was a conflict of interest, but I can certainly, go to Carter. And Dana's son-in-law is the general manager of ZOTS, and I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a conflict of interest because they use the parking lot or not. But I'm happy to share the information with Carter and get his read on it. This is really about requesting a variance, which is more of a planning commission issue. But they said, well, start with the ASCC. And so that's what we were doing. But I'm happy to try to do that, but I think we really need to talk to Darcy because I had a different understanding when Emily got back to me, because I personally was working towards the process for the ASCC opt-in. So.
Yeah, I think you're certainly right in that these things have to go in parallel. And you're certainly right that the variance is the real issue. But if you have a really nice plan drawn by Carter Moore and supported by Dana Breen that shows a sketch of how this would work, you're 100 miles ahead of just, hey, we want a variance to put some building near the street. So I would go for both. And I actually, nobody, you're talking about the town staff, they're wonderful people. I hope they're really super people, but they don't really have a lot. I mean, they're going to be paralyzed for a while. So it could be months before they get their feet on the ground and work through all this. So I'd start wherever you can. I mean, if you can start, I know you met with Linda Brothers. If you can start hectoring the planning commission, great too. But I just wouldn't get anything in the way. I would start, it's easy for me to say, but I'd start on all the paths.
Sorry,
And if I can help.
who's
Yeah.
Linda Brothers? What was the name you just said?
Oh, Linda Brothers is one of she's a CEQA attorney. She's on the planning commission. And Karen, I think, met with her about this.
Yeah, Karen
Oh.
did it there, yeah.
Should. Okay.
You're on mute, Karen.
Sorry,
She-
I think I shared my notes on that. And maybe what I should do, because I guess some people weren't in our last meeting, let me just share with you. I don't want to share the whole document. Whoops. I don't know why I keep getting that. But I wanted to just show people what, what this is our existing situation. This map has to take out the housing that we have here, but this kind of shows the very limited area we have with the creek and the setback. And here's the existing snack shack. There's nothing digitized. There's no history on it. But here's the prefab, the prefab layouts. This one is a 2-unit ADA and it mixes with the concession stand. This is more for Steve's purposes. So we would be rebuilding both with a prefab unit, and essentially it could be very much Portola Valley-like. And you have a wide variety of textures and colors. So it's all prefab. We have to build the slab. We have to have the hookups for the sewer and electricity and water, and they just pop the thing in and it's more or less ready to go. So I just wanted to share that so everybody kind of knows where we are, and I'm happy to talk to Carter about it. I will do that, and we'll see what happens. And Carter and Dana are the 2 opt-in people that Emily mentioned at our meeting.
And David, you said that you spoke to somebody that said that project is a multi-year project, even though it's prefab and it just requires
the sewer rigmarole.
sewer.
So the sewer runs along Alpine Road on that side of the road, but we have to build the connection into the sewer and work with West Bay Sanitary. And that's what could take several years.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a funding perspective, conceivably, we could spend the money on the building and just not activate the bathrooms until we get the sewer, but still get the grant money. Would that work?
I don't know we'd have to look into that, David. I don't know particularly the intricacies of what would qualify and what wouldn't. That's where we need Robert and the staff. And again, that would be part of Robert's time, which is staff time. So, a lot of layers, but I agree. I would encourage you to talk to Carter. I will in parallel meet with Darcy. I'm not sure I have that updated slide deck, Karen. If you could send that to me.
I
'Cause
sent
I haven't
it,
seen-
I,
Did you?
I
Okay,
just, I just sent it to everybody.
Okay, great. Thank you.
David Cardinal, would you like it? I only sent it to the committee members, but I'm happy to share it with you too.
David Cardinal would love it.
Okay,
Right, David
Good.
Cardinal?
Do I need to ping Linda Brothers next time I see her on the pickleball courts?
Yes.
no, she is fine with the concept. She talked about the different parts of the code that we need to make sure are covered.
All right.
But conceptually, she's, she understands. That's not an issue. I think
Okay.
the issue is how do we move this thing forward,
Okay.
to get to where we're meeting with the ASCC and the Planning
Well,
Commission and all that.
I'd rather keep it moving and ask for forgiveness than stop it. But I think we could do some of these things in parallel.
Okay,
And if you get in trouble, you can tell them that Patty told you to do it. Maybe they'll take me off some committees and that'll be good. Okay. Anything else on the bathrooms? Thank you once again, Karen, David, for efforts. I'm hoping we can get there.
So sorry, one
Uh,
last thing, Karen or Patty. So the planning commission people that we were meeting, that we were trying to schedule a meeting with, are they town staff that we now can't meet with?
The planning
That-
commission are not town staff. They're separate.
we could meet with them
Okay.
if we wanted to have sort of a conceptual conversation. And as I thought that I sent notes about my meeting with Linda out, so I'll go back and look at that. And Nicholas Targ was the other one that we were trying to connect with, and he kind of went incognito. So we can try to resurrect that with him.
How about Ronnie? Could we meet with Ronnie?
We could. I was trying to get people that had been on the planning commission longer because they may have seen more stuff, but he's sort of the next senior person. So, but we can only pick two. Am I right about that?
No, why?
I thought there was
Brown
I
Act?
thought there was like a rule about maybe we can only meet with two at a time. Is that what it is? But we can talk to all of them.
Brown Act is if they appoint a subcommittee or they just an issue outside of the meeting, it has to be two or less. But if you're individually talking to people, I don't think there's any Brown Act consideration.
Okay. We were trying to get Linda and Nicholas at the same time, but it didn't work. But I'll check into that.
You can get two of them.
Yeah, that's what we were shooting for, but I didn't realize that we could go to each one of them individually. I thought that was a violation, but maybe I'm being
As long as they don't talk to each other about it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and you can't be the cause of sequential whatever information. So you can't go to one and tell the second one what they said and the third one what the first two said. I mean, it's all kind of like a little weird, but yeah,
Right.
that's
My-
the deal.
My preference is that we just talk to two and then I know we're safe. That
Yeah.
we haven't I just don't want to, do anything that might screw this up.
Well, they'll
So-
tell you, I mean, be very transparent with them. They'll tell you if they feel it's a Brown Act violation.
Okay.
They're good
Okay.
with that. So, okay, thank you. So I just move the bocce thing down below, or do you want to leave it where it is? 'Cause
I'm
we
sorry?
haven't done anything on it.
And the bocce court?
Yeah,
Given what you saw with the fact that the Ford restrooms thing has been put on hold, there's absolutely no funding for that. So I don't really see the reason to move forward with that at all until we figure out.
so I move it
Um,
down below. Do you want me to move it
Oh,
down?
yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Thank you. I didn't understand.
I knew you hadn't anything. And resides in Little League field parking. I have no update on that either. Okay, are there any other items we need to discuss? Okay,
Quick question.
Yeah.
So last week we had the new business about the dog park, and then we talked about it, and then this week it's still tabled, so we're just that is come and gone, and we're not doing anything, or what's going on there?
it's on my list to talk to Darcy about.
The dog park?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
So the only thing, well, I think that the at least the bulk of the group that was meeting at Town Center might be going to the schools after hours. But I don't think it's I don't know what's going on at Town Center right now. So I might be sharing misinformation, but I know I walk my dog over around Corte Madera and I've seen people over there.
but I noticed the note that the superintendent put out about I forget her name, the school's opening this week, and she put out the requirements of the rules, and it said on there, no dogs Monday through Friday at all. It didn't say hours, it just said no dogs. So I assume they're gonna enforce that by locking the fences they just put up. So I don't know where the after hours group would go.
So what's interesting about that, Patty, is that the public should be able to act. I'm not talking about dogs now. I'm talking about the public, the residents, a family with children. If they want to bring their kid to the school playground and it's after school hours, they should be entitled to. And I had emailed Roberta way back when with the when she said the gates were going to be locked, and I said, how is the public able to access the school? And she said, oh, the gates will only be locked during school hours and then they will be unlocked. That was the response I got from her, but this was like, 6 months ago. So that would mean they're keeping everybody out, which I don't think they are allowed to do.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, I assume that they have worked with the powers that be, but I'm just repeating what she said in that thing she put out on the PV forum. So no, Mark Linder never got back to me about the dog park thing. I assume he's passed it on to Darcy, which is why it's on my list to talk to her about. Steve, go ahead.
I think David was before me.
He's a non-committee, so he has to bring up you have priority.
Okay. Two things. My wife is a president of the PTO at Ormondale, so I'm happy to leverage her to figure out that question that Karen brought up, because before they put up the fence, you could not access the playground or the field, with the exception of one small gate that's was very hidden on the corner by the road. So I think if normal people would come, they'd see the gates locked. They didn't know that little gate was over there that actually didn't have a lock on it. So it wasn't very inviting. And now with the new fences, I don't know if anybody's seen them, but they're massive and they surround the entire school. So maybe that gate is open on that side and they preserved that entrance. But I can find out. And then to your point, Patty, there used to be a sign that said no dogs with certain hours, because my mother-in-law always picks up my kids with her dogs and she's had an issue with it in the past. But the fact that she didn't include the hours now would be different than what she had in the past. So I can find
Yeah,
out.
it'd be good. Thank you. I think it'd be good to get clarification on that. So if you could do that, that'd be appreciated. Because I do think we need to understand that. I mean, I'm personally not a fan of dogs on school grounds at all, but I think it's going to be hard to realize that as an ambition. But I'll leave that up to the schools. So David Cardinal, I guess you're an honorary committee member, but not an official one. If you ever want
Well-
to be official, let me know.
Okay, well, I'm glad for the recognition, because otherwise I was going to feel like I'm one of those unclean lower caste people in India.
Well, you're just
Which-
a snake. Why are you a snake?
Oh, there's actually, if you have 30 seconds, I work with a lab at Stanford, and I zoom in a lot. And one of the women there had a scary experience with a rattlesnake on a trail. So I changed my avatar for that meeting to be the scariest rattlesnake I've ever photographed, actually. I mean, it was a monster. So that's just because of that.
How
So
far
there you
away
go.
were you?
Not that far. It's one of the first snakes that we didn't ultimately try to handle. We just let it go. It was like
Just let it-
eight
I would
and a
let
half.
that do
What's that?
whatever it wanted to do.
Yeah, normally we would like mess with it a little bit, photograph it, and then put it somewhere. In this case, it was 8 feet long, desert rattler, and really strong. So it's like, okay, we're gonna get a couple pictures and get out of the way.
Yeah,
Um,
good
but
deal.
yeah, it was
Okay.
probably smart. So in any case, I think the dogs and the gates are different. So they have after school stuff there. So I think they probably don't want dogs running around after school. And I guess they don't have anything on the weekends. So I think we went over there and talked to some of the staff and stuff about the gates and all that. And I do think it's the dogs and public access are two different things. So it'd be good to clarify that. So there you go.
Great, thank you. All right. Okay, any other thing? I guess I should have put dog park on the agenda. Sorry about that, because I know it was something we discussed last time. Okay. All right, any other new items? Old
Move to
items?
adjourn.
Yes, David. A
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go.
Aye.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Have a nice
Thanks,
Thank you.
night.
Patty.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.